Hi, everybody. If you're like me, you may be feeling just a wee bit of stress these days. And also, if you're like me, maybe you don't like stress at all. I think some people like a little bit of stress in their lives. I'm not crazy about stress. But one thing that everyone can agree on is that a little bit of stress is never really a terrible thing, but too much stress is not so good. Because too much stress, what happens is it starts to diminish our kind of love for life, our optimism, our enthusiasm. It kind of bites into our happiness. So in that regard, too much stress is not so good. So I want to talk a little bit about this idea of stress and particularly about happiness. There's this whole science of happiness now and how stress and happiness are related. So the first thing about stress, there's certain ways to deal with it that are not totally simple and easy, but pretty simple and easy actually. And the first thing about stress is to identify the source of our stress, which maybe is the hardest thing. Some stress is just caused by the fact that we've got so much to do and our to-do list just keeps getting longer and longer, and we don't seem to be able to shorten that list. We just get kind of paralyzed and don't do the things we should do. And if that's the source of our stress, well, the solution to that is really easy, and I'm sure you've heard this from many of your teachers and your advisor and your house director perhaps. Just do something, prioritize all those things you have to do and just start whacking away at them. And of course, once we're doing something, then it seems that stress level seems to relax a bit. But there's other sources of stress that are maybe a little more complicated. One source of stress, of course, is this sense of that we have that we're not good enough, that we're not doing enough, that other people are smarter, better looking, have more than us. All these kind of negative thoughts that we have can very easily lead to stress. And the antidote to that kind of stress, of course, is gratitude. And as we're approaching Thanksgiving, it's a good time to think about this. I've often said that it's very hard for us to feel sorry for ourselves and to feel grateful at the same time. That those thoughts, we can't hold those thoughts in our head at once, and that gratitude tends to very quickly alleviate those feelings of that sense of feeling sorry for ourselves. So, all of us have to get to gratitude in our own way. We can't tell other people how to do it. The worst thing is for somebody to say, well, you've broken your leg, but at least you didn't break your arm. That's not really what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this sense of gratitude within ourselves. So a quick 4-step process that some researchers suggest is, first of all, identify the negative thoughts or the sense of that feeling sorry for ourselves. Identify what that is. Betty got a better grade than I did, and I worked harder than Betty. The second step simply is to think of something, consider something that we're grateful for, maybe in relationship to that. Well, I'm doing pretty well in school. In fact, I'm really grateful to be in school, and I'm grateful for my classes. The third step is just to replace the grateful thought with the ungrateful thought. And the final step, the fourth step, is to do something with whatever that energy that might be released from that, particularly to look at how to maybe help someone else, help someone around us, contribute to someone else's life who may be feeling down. Very simple, not always easy, but very simple. There is, as I say, this kind of science of psychology, or science of happiness these days. Researchers are telling us that gratitude can improve our sense of well-being. It can improve our happiness quotient. It can alleviate stress. It can make us healthier. It can even improve our sleep and our energy. So gratitude it's really the magic ingredient in all of this. It doesn't mean denying the fact that there's hard things in our life. It just means making sure that we balance those hard things and those difficult feelings with feelings of gratefulness and thanksgiving. And speaking of Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and may you, in the process of Thanksgiving, become a happier person. And I'm just going to end with a quote on gratitude by a woman named Melody Beattie, and I think this is a beautiful quote. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow.
Bless the kind heart that gives without asking for anything you've done to help